Spoiler warning. While this video contains no spoilers for Inaros and Sands of Inaros, there is a minor spoiler for the second dream quest. Inaros Prime has arrived with 2 new Prime weapons as well. For those of you unfamiliar, Inaros is a sand and Egyptian themed Warframe, with a shed load of health, but no shields at all. His abilities aren't the strongest, nor most flashy, but you can attain a ridiculous amount of health, making him a nice passive tank, as I've showcased recently in tank frames. I'll pop a link on the top right for you to click on if you need that. Inaros Prime boasts a tiny amount more max health, 25% more energy, a little uptick in sprint speed, and an extra V polarity, fitting more offensive type mods, going along with his existing 2 D polarities for defensives. For those of you who've done the Sands of Inaros quest already, you'll know the meaning between Inaros and Barakatia, that rather pretentious trader of exotic goods. It's no surprise then that Barra reacts rather uniquely to Inaros Prime, and even has a special mission for him. Only Inaros Prime can access it, and that is through purchasing the special Barrow Void Signal from Barrow himself, and this returns a unique if questionable reward. I'd show you this, except between farming Inaros and my decidedly non-gaming day job, I didn't manage to get him in time, so you'll just have to see for yourselves when Barrow comes back in a couple of weeks' time. In addition to Inaros Prime, we can also now access 2 new Prime weapons, which are the Charis Prime and Panthera Prime. Charis Prime is a slow-hitting dagger with very high base damage and innate toxin damage. Panthera, on the other hand, is an automatic rifle which can fire a continuous stream of small explosive projectiles which bounce off surfaces and enemies, or using the alternate fire, you can just attach a saw blade to the end of a laser beam and kind of jam it into your enemies. It makes no sense to me either. Both of these, being new weapons, start with a Riven disposition of 0.5, which is significantly lower than their standard variants. So if you have a Riven for these weapons, the standard one is probably going to be better for you. Otherwise though, comparing like for like stats, the 2 primes are an upgrade over their basic versions, although some stats are a little bit lower down, like the Panthera has slightly less ammo maximum. Now, merely knowing of these new treats is one thing, but also important is how to get them, and I've got just the answer for you. For the Frame, Panthera and Charis, you will need these relics in total. There's a lot of Meso rares, meaning that will be your biggest farm. You start with the Disruption Mission Olympus, found on Mars. By doing every conduit every round, you'll get 2 Lith relics first, then Meso relics every round thereafter. This is the fastest way to get the Meso relics, and a good place to start as it gives you a couple Lith as you warm up. If you need just the Lith ones though, head on over to Hepit in the Void for a very easy capture mission. Ideally that one you want to run solo as fast as you can to get your relic on mission completion as quick as you can. For the Axi relics, there's 2 options available to you. Either head on over to Kelpie on Sedna or Apollo on Lua. Both of those again disruption. Kelpie will give you Axi relics on round 3 onwards by doing all conduits, although you also have a chance at Gorse parts. This is great if you don't yet have Gorse, as now you get to farm 2 frames at once, but if you already have Gorse, it's kind of a wasted reward. In the first 2 rounds on Kelpie, you'll also get Neo relics, which gives you a shot at that single one you need for the new stuff. Apollo, on the other hand, is all Axi relics. You can continue to do just every conduit there, though intentionally failing 1 or 2 conduits on round 3, and intentionally failing 2 or 3 conduits on round 4 and above will ensure you get only Axi relics. If you do all the conduits continuously, you'll occasionally get a universal medallion instead, which, while it's nice, it's not a relic. And finally, if you still need to farm the Neo T3 relic after all the above here, you can get this by heading over to on Uranus for another stab at disruption. Just like with Apollo, failing a couple conduits here on rounds 3 and above will guarantee a Neo relic. But this does leave you open to having nasty modifiers in the latter part of a round. If you're on a public mission, just do all the conduits, and know that if someone messes up and lets 1 or 2 blow up, they're actually kind of helping you. For all the disruption missions, my advice on doing them is the same. have a solid damaging primary and melee weapon, ideally the primary built for AoE, like the Brahma, and the melee for single target, like the Redeemer Prime. A frame with an AoE option is nice, but it's not really necessary. Your secondary should have a very high status chance, and modded for cold procs especially. This will allow you to slow down the Demolisher without breaking a sweat. I can honestly recommend the Comac for this, but other secondary weapons can do the trick. Alternatively, a frame with viable lockdown ability, like Harrow, can help you instead. Blow up the enemies to get the keys you need, and remember they drop from the bigger or Xmas units. Then use your combination of cold procs and single target damage to stop the Demolishers with ease. When it comes to opening the relics, I strongly advise you check out the recruitment channel in game to get a party going. You'll see the following format for most people hosting a group. H means they're hosting, whereas if they put LF there, then they're looking for that kind of group. The next bit is the relic that they're doing, or maybe a different mission altogether. Pay attention as there are similarly named relics accessible at the moment. The third bit, Rad, means everyone must bring a Radiant relic. Sometimes they'll type Radiant or Rad Share or Rad Party, it all means the same thing. Alternatively, you'll see Int or Intact, meaning everyone should bring an unupgraded relic to make the common drops more common. And lastly, the 2/4 bit just means how many people they currently have in the party. So, if you want to get cracking on hosting your own squad, if you can't find the one you're looking for there, that's the way you want to put the message up to get people in as quickly as possible. Alternatively, if you have an active clan, turn to your clanmates and work together. After all, you can share this video with them to get everyone up to speed. And whilst you're doing that, might as well subscribe to get updated as soon as I upload more. You can also head over to twitch.tv/thekengineer and drop a follow there, as I will be streaming again in August. Come join the fun in cheesing out Warframe, or flailing around in other games from time to time as well. For now though, crack relics, throw sand, and fight well, Tenno.